How do you start your morning? On the morning of December 21st, 1978, John Wayne Gacy Jr. found himself in handcuffs for dealing marijuana.
John Wayne Gacy was headed for jail on a drug charge. He was connected to several missing boys, but not a single body had been found.
Yeah, that's because John Wayne Gacy Jr., one of the worst serial killers in U.S. history, guilty of murdering at least 33 young male victims, is actually innocent, and I can prove it. Future pillar of the community, family man, and entertainer of young children, John Wayne Gacy Jr., was born on March 17, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, to Danish and Polish parents. Suffering from blackouts as a child, Gacy spent roughly a year in hospital between the ages of 14 and 18. His father, of course, being the skeptic he was, accused Gacy of being a lying queer pussy who was merely faking a condition to gain sympathy and attention. Parents, if you're watching, take some notes. In 1960, at 18, Gacy became involved in politics. His mother was so proud. His father, not so much.
You're dead to me, boy.
He immediately accused him of being a patsy.
You're a patsy.
In 1962, Gacy ran away from home to escape his father's unusual style of parenting and start afresh. From now on, he would devote his life to community, charity, family, and the pursuit of happiness. But somewhere along the way, the unthinkable would happen, and Gacy would be wrongfully accused of the rape, torture, and murder of at least 33 young males. But how the hell could such a thing happen to an upstanding citizen like John Wayne Gacy?
Killer John Wayne Gacy tries to rewrite history.
Excuse me? Tries to rewrite history?
He had an answer for everything.
Because he refused to let you stick him with 33 fabricated charges of murder?
They paint the image that I was this monster who picked up like these altar boys along the street and swatted them like flies. I said, this is ludicrous.
His record's clean. The guy never had so much as a parking ticket growing up.
A simple background check revealed that Gacy had been convicted 10 years earlier in Iowa. The charge was sodomy.
So whatever. He made one little mistake. Besides, he was released after 18 months for good behavior. Changed his life, turned it around. Now, being the responsible family man that he was, Gacy started a construction business, PDM contractors, and rented a house with his mother. Back on the straight and narrow.
But unusual stories about him occasionally surfaced.
Unusual stories? What? Did he miss church one Sunday morning?
Shortly after I got in the car with him, he placed a rag over my face. It turned out to be chloroform, and every time I would come to, the rag would go back over my face. That's the last thing I remembered.
Okay, fine. Like the narrator said, it's just an unusual story.
Another young man described a night of torture to then State's Attorney Terry Sullivan.
He made him take his clothes off and tortured him with candles, then filled the bathtub and shoved his head underwater. It's amazing he didn't die at that particular time.
Neither story was believed, dismissed by police as lovers' quarrels.
There. You see? Just like I said, nothing more than a lover's quarrel. It's all just a big misunderstanding, just like Gacy said. Now, on January 3rd, 1972, teenager Timothy Mccoy goes missing. Okay, bear with me on this one here, okay? Gacy actually admits to killing him, but it was self-defense. After kicking back and watching some porno flicks together, Timothy actually attacks Gacy with a kitchen knife for some reason. Gacy managed to get the knife away from him, but the next thing he knew, Timothy's lying dead on the floor. He panics. Can you blame him? Like, he couldn't trust the police. They're constantly trying to frame him. So he opened up the trap door, crawl space under his house. Body goes under there. Clear cut, self-defense, no choice in the matter. When 15-year-old Robert Piest went missing, a trail of so-called witnesses led police to Gacy's door. He agreed to come in. He agreed to the police. I'll come in. Don't worry, I'll come in for questioning. He even handed them the keys to this house. Do you hand the keys over to the police to go to your house if you have a bunch of bodies under the floor? No.
If you're a moron.
Okay, so the investigators found a receipt linked to Piest and Gacy's home. They could have planted it. You don't know. Haven't you seen Making a Murderer or anything like that?
I'm innocent.
And sure, one of the detectives caught a whiff.
What's that smell? What smell?
of what he said smelled like decomposing bodies.
My little Lhasa Apso was in the house doing his business on the paper, and you can imagine what it smells like if you go into a closed room.
See, it wasn't the smell of dead, rotting flesh like the cops would have you believe. It's just his cute little dog had an accident.
It seems inconceivable that Gacy would rely on such a defense.
Anyways, the feds put him on round-the-clock surveillance. But being the pillar of the community with nothing to hide, he just went along with it.
It soon became obvious that a concealed surveillance of John Gacy would be impossible. Gacy often drove over 60 through city streets.
See if you bastards can do 90.
Maybe he had to take a leak constantly. What? How would you like being followed around by a pack of crooked cops?
The investigators had obtained a search warrant for Gacy's house.
The police called off the surveillance after a sweep of Gacy's house revealed nothing. A tiny receipt, which probably planted by the cops anyways, and a foul smell isn't enough to put you away from murder now, is it?
You're gonna have to do better than that.
The second search of his house began. One officer took a shovel, dug down about 6 inches, and pulled up something hard. It was a human bone.
Come again?
The Gacy house was completely dismantled. 29 bodies had been unearthed. In April 1979, John Gacy was indicted for the murder of 33 young men and boys.
There was 12 keys out to the house.
12 sets of keys?
What?
12 sets of keys.
Others had access to the house.
Anybody working for PDM contractors had a set of keys.
There you have it, folks. Straight from the horse's mouth. More than 12 people had access to his house. 12! All hours of the night, coming, going.
So you feel others followed your suit using this as a burial ground?
Without a doubt.
The man's innocent!
I had nothing, I had no knowledge of him.
Even though he's obviously innocent, we know the drill. Fucking system's rigged.
He then confessed to the murder of more than 30 young men and boys.
Fuck it. We'll just skip to the part about his passion for painting behind bars. Ooh. Sorry about that. Just had to have a little quick word with the camera guy there for a second. But anyways, by the way, did you know that John Wayne Gacy was a passionate painter? While wrongfully in prison, he passed the time by painting beautiful landscapes and other pictures inspired by his life as a free man. No, the other fucking paintings.
You know, people always ask me who my favorite artists are. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo.
Wow, it really shows. Beautiful. On February 6, 1980, Gacy's trial began. The manipulated jury took just 1 hour and 50 minutes to find Gacy guilty of the murders. The following day, the same jury imposed a death penalty, drawing applause from onlookers. Applause. Sheeple, as Gacy and this guy right here like to call him.
If they want to be convinced or brainwashed into what they believe, then fine, then go ahead and kill me.
After delivering a final statement of innocence, John Wayne Gacy Jr. was put to death just after midnight by lethal injection.